kind of the map for that, Cat. So I'm very excited to see what these two are gonna bring us. Let's start it off in the top left-hand side of the map with our red Protoss player, PattyMac.
Bottom right-hand side of the map, this man knows not to macro, so don't expect a long one regardless of the map. His name is Pasha Pilipenko, also known as Pili Pili. Blink all in is my gut feeling here.
Man, I just forgot how much I loved PattyMac's cam. It's like, you know, got a business meeting at 5 and your DreamHack match at 6. It's got that kind of feel to it.
It does, doesn't it?
Yeah,
I'd actually never seen his cam before. Yeah, it reminds me of my childhood home. That we had a library that was kind of like, that looked kind of like this, like the same finish. Yeah.
My new house, we had like a room that was like that as well, and we just finished ripping it all out because it's just not something we'd use, you know?
Yeah.
It was a very small room as well, so like it was taking up so much space. It was very silly.
Yeah, mine was full of encyclopedias that no one ever opened.
See, I feel like that's why I would do it. I'd put all this stuff in there and like we would just never go into any of it again. So it's like, you know, it was a good sacrifice.
Else, yeah. All right.
So you think Blink all in?
Yeah, I'm thinking Blink all in or something
from
of the sorts. From
either of
them,
them,
of course. Nah, from Pili Pili. Pili Pili is definitely gonna all in. Like I have seen him take 4 bases, but it's not, it's not his thing. He's definitely gonna apply some sort of pressure, even if he doesn't finish the game with it. He's kind of like a skillless type player, only maybe more aggressive. So yeah, we'll see what he brings. We'll see what the opening units are as well on either side as the Cybercores finish. And we have 2 Stalkers. Proxy Robo.
Wow, okay, so PattyMac's gonna bring the aggression, and yeah, Proxy and that Robo dead center on the map as well. It's a cool place because who is gonna run their probe straight back home? Nobody. Everyone's gonna go check the edges. So this is probably the best place you can put it without it being scouted by those scouting probes.
That's very smart. I hadn't thought of that, but yeah. I guess if you like, I would definitely bring my probe back through the normal channels, right? But if you're good enough, then you wouldn't. You would be scouting with your probe. So that's exactly what we have here. It's going to be a robot. Somewhat surprising still because it is against Pili Pili, who is, he is known for aggression. And normally when you start aggression against an aggressive player, that tends to not do too great. However, a completely unannounced Immortal, that could really turn the tides. If he gets 1 or 2 units for free, that could be huge for PattyMac.
Yeah, that Immortal's just on the way through, man. It feels even worse for Pili because he has 2 different probes scouting as well, right? And he has not seen the Robo still. He's seen pretty much everywhere else on the map at this stage. And finally, the Stalker is not even going to see the Robo, just sees that there's 2 Stalks in the middle, but he'll be pushed back. Now with an extra Stalker showing up, he'll be like, haha, I'm going to get him. And then the Immortal shows up. Cats and Pili Pili is going to realize the disaster he just walked into. The facial expression on the camera tells you everything. He starts a void, cancels the Nexus. What a start to this game.
Yeah, absolutely brilliant positioning, well planned out from PattyMac, right? I absolutely love what he did there playing with the bushes, and he is going to find himself in a brilliant position to even deny this pylon and any additional units. The warping will happen in the back for Pili Pili, so he will have 2 Stalkers and a Void Ray to work with, but he still needs to repower those gateways. Still, if he can hold, remember the Proxy Robo is still out there, so he could very well stabilize. But PattyMac doing a great
Oh, that was his prism was right there as well. It was time for that prism to show up, and that's a real shame because that should have been an Immortal that was still very much so alive.
Yeah, that is the type of situation where I start calling my units names, because it's like if you're the Warp Prism right there, if you're driving the Warp Prism, you have to pick up the Immortal. Like obviously that's what I want to do, right?
Why are there 2 probes just drilling through the wall off of PattyMac?
Who knows? Who knows?
I'm just gonna
it might work. Like, it might, they really are drilling through it.
Yeah, they're 100%. They've been doing it for. They nearly killed a gateway, man. No one's doing anything about it.
They will force a warp in, which is good enough, or kill a gateway. It's kind of a checkmatey couple of probes there.
Well, meanwhile, we do have the fight actually continuing. Stalker's not really able to get to the high ground. I think losing the Immortal is just such a big loss. I mean, you're on your way to Blink, you're on your way to an Expand, so you're kind of heading in the right direction. It just felt as though this should have been so much easier for PattyMac. There should have been so much more you could do. I mean, I guess in a way, this gateway wants to go down, so PattyMac can access the natural, so whatever. It's just kind of fun.
Yeah. Most definitely. and actually extra value from those probes if they kill this probe, because like you said, this gateway does want to go down in a certain way so that you can access that natural. Pili Pili is going to have to push out and try to make something happen with this army. It's not a weak army by any means. He will get a scout onto the natural of PattyMac, so he knows very well what he is up against. The other option would be to drop something like a Nexus. Instead, Pili Pili is going to opt for a Oracle and the Nexus to follow. So the Oracle likely to go behind the enemy lines and try to harass PattyMac, pull some units to the main, and then capitalize onto that natural. This Robo, I mean, the initial attack was very nice, but it was pretty unfruitful after that, right? It basically just netted him an extra Stalker and the Warp Prism, and then it was abandoned.
Yeah, I mean, at least like you say, now you've got Blink, so maybe you can do something with this. The power of Blink is crazy. Like, the value it gives you in this matchup is so high. So let's see what PattyMac can do with this. Otherwise, I really do agree. Like, feels like he didn't get much out of it.
Yeah, he's gonna revelate that observer, so that's important because there's a Robo in production, but not extra observers now. And PattyMac though retaliates and catches the Oracle, which is almost inarguably worse for Pili Pili.
Yeah, absolutely. Voidroid is going to take some damage. Whoa, he's going to blink for the Voidroid as they activate Prismatic. I mean, there's going to be a lot of Stalkers going down. The Warp Prism from the other side here. Does PattyMac have enough? He'll now get to defensively blink as it comes back off cooldown. Pops up a Guardian Shield. There's just no low ground battery here, and Pili Pili is outnumbered. So in the end, the initial attack did do enough, and PattyMac is able to take this first map, Cats. I think that's going to mix up a little bit for everyone here.
Yeah, most definitely. A very technical execution at the start, like really cool strategy from PattyMac, because he puts the Robo in a position where it's unlikely to get scouted. Also, Pili Pili is a streamer, so you would, even if you didn't know for sure for any given player, for Pili Pili, you can probably know his scouting patterns a little bit more if you do study him, because there's plenty of material out there. But using the bushes like PattyMac did was really what did it for me. First, he used them to deny the Stalkers information of that Robo, and then he used them to surprise his opponent with the Immortal and netted him like 3 Stalkers at the start. I mean, almost unrecoverable from that position, and PattyMac takes game number 1.
All right, well, game number 2 is going to be Lightshade. Very different map. We just went from the most likely map to belong to now Lightshade, which is pretty short, pretty aggressive, so we'll see if it keeps up. Of course, the power of Romanticiding being long is then the power of the Robo facility proxied on that map as well, right? Because there were so many places for Pili to check, and he just didn't check in the center. And the way it worked out as well, like the Stalker's finding it as the Immortal is there, was just such a feels bad. But yeah, now Lightshade. We'll see what these two want to go for. Are you going to go back to Blink all in for Pili? Is that your new prediction? Or does it change with the map, Cats?
Well, I think this map is a little bit more free to apply pressure in different ways. So, but I mean, Blink All In is kind of his go-to. I think he's really, really strong with Blink All In because it's kind of his bread and butter. So if I had to decide on a default strategy for Pili Pili, that's what I would go for.
All right, use your bread and butter, make a sandwich. Sounds good to me. We're just waiting for Pili to join the lobby here, and we'll get on into our game number 2 as PattyMac leads 1-0. If I'm not mistaken, that's his first map win, isn't it? Just gonna double check that.
That is, yeah. And it's the first loss for Pili Pili, so yeah, big for both players.
Actually really big for PattyMac, because to be fair, while he's 0-2-0-4, he did lose to Nina and Future, who are obviously alongside Estrella, I'd say my own personal favorites in this group to begin with. So if PattyMac's looking for playoffs, his playoff dream is very much so alive if he starts picking up wins against everybody else that he still has to play in the group, right? So yeah, it puts the pressure on you because you're already 0-2, but, at least the tougher opponents apart from Estrella out the way. So, yeah, time to deliver, time to get it, time to get the job done.
Yeah, and if he can beat Pili Pili of all people, that would be excellent because he's one of his closest competition for that spot. I mean, Pili Pili already defeated Nina, so that would offer PattyMac kind of an opening to where, his loss to Nina is all of a sudden not also bad because it creates the triangle of people beating each other at that point. The
triangle of people beating each other. That's what round robins are made for, Cats. Round robins that make triangles. Perfect. So, into game number 2, we're going to start off in the bottom right-hand side of the blue product, who is down by a map. It is Pili Pili.
And in the top left-hand side, the red Protoss player, it is PattyMac. Playing for Genesis Gaming, Pili Pili, and PattyMac for ARG NA. ARG is... Which one's ARG? ARG.
ARG?
ARG. Archangel. It's Archangel? It's Archangel.
Yeah, I was going to say Archangel, but then I don't even know if Archangel is still a team. Did you not say this last week as well, where we like didn't know?
Yeah. It was recently revived, as I understand it.
Right, okay, then yeah, no, okay. I actually see on the productions on our PGM, I see that it is the Archangel logo. So yeah,
it is. Yeah, I saw the Archangel logo. ARG doesn't sound like an ARG. It sounds more like a pirate than an angel to me. But
what was that tag on EU? It wasn't ARG, was it?
I don't know. I feel like Arch would be more like Archangel. You know, Arch.
Yeah, I'm trying to think.
But then the NA wouldn't fit.
I don't know.
Is the distinction necessary between EU and NA is my question. If you're Archangel, I feel like you're just Arch, rather than ARG, which sounds more like a pirate, like I said. Either way, I mean, their choice. Beautiful logo for the Archangels.
Yeah, it is a beautiful logo. I like it a lot. Mm-hmm. That means a lot coming from you as well, though, Cats. You draw some pretty beautiful logos yourself.
Oh, thank you, Wardy. I appreciate that. I try. Pili Pili is going to be scouting here. Would you make a pylon on the... Oh, PattyMac. Spicy man. That's a third gateway already out there. And you know what, Wardy? I love when you cheese cheesers. When you cheese aggressors, basically. When you act before they can get in their comfort zone, which is attacking, right? When you put them on the defensive, it's one of the best things that you can do. And it seems like PattyMac is very much ready to do exactly that in this series.
Yeah, no, he's. I like that. It just kind of gives him the game in his own hands, right? He's putting the game in his own hands. He's saying, right, let's go, let's do this. I kind of love that. I think that's really cool. I think it's a good way to approach it, and especially when you know it's important games and stuff. Rather than letting your opponent dictate the pace of it, you take control. I always think there's a lot of power in that.
Oh, Bilichenko will be scouting this though, and that's powerful. He's gonna know that it's 3 gateways. He's definitely not gonna be taking any Nexus anytime soon, and even though and he pulls back his stalkers, which he was willing otherwise to go out on the map with, so he could have lost these 2 stalkers to potentially, you know, a greater number of stalkers waiting somewhere, but now that possibility is gone for PattyMac, who will instead have to walk up a ramp that is likely going to be well defended. Pili Pili will further scout to find that there is an expansion, and almost I can guarantee it, Blink will start in 3, 2, never mind, it's a Dark Shrine. This is the other Pili Pili special. Love it.
The other and Blink. There you go. You went
there, that's more like it. Yeah.
Just the other way around on the ordering. Very cool with the Dark Shrine, because if PattyMac just goes toward his own Blink and doesn't think about the Robo so quickly, he can just die to those DTs. It's a big possibility. So he's going to let up the pressure a little bit, kill off this probe on the other side. I kind of would have liked him to stick around a bit more on the low ground, just try and, you know, fake the pressure a bit more. I mean, I guess the gig is up, right, because Pili's team are natural, but I feel like he could have maybe stood around and still picked off, like, or put some good damage onto a Stalker as they come down the ramp all choked up. So anyways, no matters, but now we are going to see the Dark Shrine getting ever closer, and the detection not getting any closer at all for PattyMac.
Yeah, it's a brilliant decision here from Pili Pili, really, because if you look at the state of the game, I mean, there is money basically wasted on production in that 3rd gateway, and PattyMac says, okay, like, now that my gig is up with the 3rd gate, I'm gonna expand quickly, but Pili Pili scouts the Nexus basically right away. So I love that he's saying, okay, I mean, like, what are you gonna do? Are you gonna make no units, or are you gonna make no tech? Because if he makes no units, he's gonna die to Blink, and if he makes no tech, he's gonna die to DTs, right? So it's kind of a checkmate move already. I don't know what PattyMac can do at this point. DTs are already being warped in on the side of Pili Pili, and again, even if this doesn't work, which it will, I feel like Pili Pili can just mass up Blink Stalkers and look for a strong follow-up.
There's an attempted wall of Stalkers here from PattyMac, but the DTs are advancing. The wall is broken a little bit. He's going to split them up again. He obviously knows about the possibility of this. He's going to try and buy some time as the Stalkers come in to fight alongside the DTs. The DTs are going to start slipping by up in toward the main base, and Well, that's going to be a lot of probe kills before there's any detection here, and this very well may just be a tied-up series in a few moments. Cats, you said it was pretty much checkmate, and I don't disagree with you. Even when that robo finishes, you've still got to build the Observer. That's even more time you have to wait to get this up and running. Yeah, I don't even mind the idea of just ignoring the robo/pylon and just going for kills, because the advantage you're going to give yourself just means that then you can win the game with the Blink Stalker straight after.
Yeah, and I mean, Pilipili's taking no chances. He's dropped a natural base behind us as well, so it doesn't become all in either, right? And here comes the Blink Stalkers to actually finish off the pylon. The Observer does pop out, but it doesn't matter.
Doesn't make a difference. Pilipili is able to tie it up. We go 1-1 in this PvP. It does turn into a bit of an epic, although maybe not quite the 2-hour series Nate was hoping for. At least not just yet, but maybe it will after the break, as we'll head into game number 3. We'll see if it's the 2-hour game that Nathanias was looking for. Welcome back. We're here. We're ready for more StarCraft 2. I'm just trying to make it cool and chill like Katz's room right now as we're heading into game number 3. We gotta chill out a little bit before this PvP gets crazy again because it's proxy this, proxy that, DT your base. It's getting a little bit hectic, Katz.
It really is. I mean, it's a very NA PvP. And you love to see it, to be honest. I mean, I like the quick-paced games as well, right? And that's exactly what we're getting here. Neither of these players seems too comfortable to go later into the game, it seems. And the bottom left-hand side for Gen G Esports, it is Pilipili.
In the upper right-hand side for Archangel Gaming, it is Patty Mac.
It's actually, I guess we should say Genesis Gaming, because there is another Gen G, right? Like out there in esports.
Yeah, it's a big team in like, I want to say like
and a bunch of
League
esports,
and stuff.
Valorant, the League,
yeah. Basically the other esports.
Yeah.
The non-StarCraft ones.
Not StarCraft, yeah. They have a Counter-Strike team. They have all kinds of teams, actually. Right. Not in the game that matters, however. So I guess we could keep calling Gen G. Nah, let's go with Genesis.
We can call them Gen G. This is the real Gen G in our hearts. You know?
True. Now it's the
other
only
esports even exist, Kat? Like,
what? What are you talking about?
Yeah. What do you mean?
Yeah,
the other Gen
I don't know what do you mean other esports?
Yeah.
Alright, so
alright, StarCraft.
But nothing going on. I mean, it's a double gateway opener on either side. This is as standard as it gets, but Patty Mac looking for potentially a proxied Stargate this time around. Nothing else really makes sense from that location.
Yep, and I kind of just love it, man. Just why build a single structure or tech in your main base this series, or even just hide a pylon? That's a cool idea, right? I like that.
I like it. Yeah, he's doing that. I love it.
Yeah, obviously you open up the first 2 games with a proxy, and now you fake the proxy, and now Pilly's going to be all confused, looking everywhere for a proxy that doesn't exist. Is it going to be in the middle of the map again? He'll be asking himself. He'll be going crazy trying to find it, but it doesn't actually exist, and that's always a possibility. I like it. It feels like a good series plan from Patty Mac.
Absolutely, it is brilliant. I love what we're seeing here, just proxying the pylon and nothing else. It is actually going to work pretty well, because even if Pili doesn't fall for it, he's gonna be using some brain power trying to figure out what's going on, right? Like, which is distracting in itself. Like you can falter in other areas when you're paying attention to things that are going on, or in this case, not going on.
There is the Stargate out of Pilly to kick this one off, Kat. So that's coming down versus the faster Nexus from Patty Mac, and dare I say that even with that Stargate from Pilly, we have a pretty good chance of seeing something a little bit longer and a little bit more 2-base focused.
Yeah, that's a really good scout for Pili though, who sees the sentry, knows where a lot of the gas is going, sees a second stalker pop up, and the Nexus as well. So now he knows that it's been a fake all along, and he will move out with a couple of stalkers and potentially reinforce, though instead he will choose to take a Nexus. I would love to see an Oracle from this target to try and apply pressure at the entrance, and then, poke at the back as well.
Yep. Let's find a little bit here, and Billy, actually good timing to get himself a sentry kill. Even looks for another, gets force fielded though, and is punished a little bit for trying to grab that sentry there, and he's going to come back in with extra stalkers though. Cats gets another sentry kill.
Yeah, and will barely get out with that stalker's life. Oh. The Oracle now started, so it was delayed quite a bit on the side of Pili. He would have probably benefited from paying a little bit closer attention to the start time of that Oracle, but it's now nearly out. And when it is, he will be able to apply pressure to a main base that lacks, at the moment at least, a shield battery.
Lacking a battery as we do continue through that Dark Shrine versus the Twilight Council. So the Dark Shrine from Patty Mac is fun, but it's going to be against that Oracle, so very likely it's figured out.
Yeah, it's most likely going to be spotted. Still, Pili is going to want reliable detection in an observer, so we'll see and pay attention to when he drops that robo. The Oracle will pop in and get a few probes, it looks like, as well as a very early scout onto the Dark Shrine, so this is an ideal case scenario for Pili. Very nice.
Gets in, kills some probes, gets a good scout. I mean, this is everything you want out of your Oracle open. You can't really get much more than that, really.
Yeah, absolutely not. And there's a second Oracle on the way as well. So he was ready for potentially there being a shield battery there even, right? And then poking back in with a second Oracle. This time around, instead, he can do something different. Maybe he can go to the natural or something like that. But for the time being, he is worried about the potential Dark Shrine until the Observer shows up. So he's going to back with both Oracles. He deems that he has done enough damage, and he has. And just needs to look for the invisible people.
Look for the invisible people. Make it sound so easy, Cats, as we see our first invisible man walked in. Has a long journey across the map, though.
Yeah, by the time he arrives, there might actually be an observer. Of course, Pilipili couldn't have known that. There could have been a proxied gateway somewhere. And Pilipili will spot this probe that has just dropped a third base for PattyMac. This could be go time for Pilipili after he holds off, as he is getting his own Dark Shrine and Blink as well to go along with it.
Yep. That's going to go try and drop this Nexus, but PattyMac actually will get here for a probe kill. So here's the DTs in a nice little way. There's the Revelation going down to force this DT in some trouble. Recall's home though, so even keeping the DT alive. I kind of like it.
Yeah, that was nice. Now the Oracles are going to be free to go out on the map. However, as there should be an observer about to pop up on the side of Pilipili or already out. No, there isn't one for some reason. So Pilipili playing playing his cards a little bit close to his heart here. Okay, an observer now gets started. That could have been scary. And now the DTs from Pilipili are here, and they are doing massive amounts of work.
Yeah,
PattyMac does not yet have a response.
Okay, well, at least the battery's going to kind of stop the Stalkers from dying for a moment. Then they move too far up this ramp. His own Robo is just about to finish, but look how many units are going down, right? And this is where Pilipili on the follow-up may just have a lot of success if you get rid of a whole bunch of units now. Obviously, there's less units available. Look at all the mining time that's being lost here. You're already down 10 workers. And now Pili's probably going to come at you as soon as his blink is done. Deals with this DT as well, so again, doing a really good job defensively.
Yeah, I mean, this was fantastic for Pilipili, also identifying that there's a Robo on the way. He splits both DTs to maximize damage. That means that PattyMac is going to have to deal with one of these DTs at a time. So now he's going to deal with the main, but it's going to cost him additional probes and mining time at his third. So very well done for Pilipili, who is looking to stabilize on the economic side of things, or get further ahead rather, as he leads by 17 or so probes. And now has his third established.
Just so much damage. In come double Oracles just to keep on kind of picking PattyMac while he's already down 8, 9 more probes. And, well, these Oracles probably could have gotten out of that. But Pilipili was maybe looking elsewhere. DT on the third base, I think, maybe.
Yeah.
It's just painful, right? I mean, now you're down 25 workers, and Pilipili is in absolute full control of this game.
Yeah, and Pilipili is not one to drag things out. He already has a proxy gateway, so he is ready to mount the aggression further. And we'll see if he's able to close out this game. I imagine this game can't last too much more. I mean, he's 21 probes ahead now. He has insanely good income. He is now got the bigger army, and he probably knows it. So look for this game to end within a minute and a half. I want to say before 10 minutes, probably. Is that too crazy? Is that too fast?
10 minutes. No, I think that's pretty reasonable. Stalkers are making their way across. The only thing where that doesn't happen is if Pilipili's like, okay, let's chill out a little bit, and maybe I don't need to go just yet. But I don't see why you wouldn't go. Oh my god, the stasis would. Can anything else happen to PattyMac's probes this game? They've been Oracle, they've been Dog Template, they've been Stasis. Like,
the poor things.
Yeah, I know. Oh no, not another one. Okay, they get away this time, but just to run into Zealots, I guess there is more that can happen to these poor little probes. They run into an entire army. Oh my goodness. Well, an Immortal is on kind of a weird slide. Pilipili is force fielded into his opponent's base. I mean, blink on the Immortal, but it's just going to cost you so many units trying to get rid of that. And PattyMac just was in no place to trade like that at all. And Pilipili is going to do it for you, Cats, before the 10-minute marker.
Oh, hells yeah.
Hells yeah. GG's, you win. Good prediction, Cats.